Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's Wednesday, March the 13th. The year's 2019. Let's talk trading. How to trade like a pro. Breakout 301. Okay, we're in the, let's see, that would be the junior class. So, by this time, as a junior, you have your money and risk management down. Something you don't even have to think about. It's automatic and you execute it flawlessly. So let's go and let's look at my real-time price analyzer so we can really dig in and get a feel for the breakouts. Now, just to let you know what indicators we're looking at, we've got the real-time price analyzer. That's one of the 2017 indicators. Got the old spread dots. TROHL5. I don't even think we're using the candle, but those are the indicators that we've got set up here. Now, main thing we're looking at is where price is in real time compared to different levels. So we're looking at the previous candles, the high, the top, the middle, the bottom, and the low. So the top and bottom will either be the open or close depending on whether or not the previous candle was red or green or bull or bear or black or white, an up candle or down candle, however you want to define it. So you see we've got pivots here, we got the opens, and you can see here the top of the previous candle and the bottom. And on this particular screen, I like to use bar charts rather than candles. It's just a preference. It doesn't matter what you use. Now, you can see here, this is once again real time. The high is greater than the previous top, 77 out of the last 100 times, or 70%. Now it closed greater than the previous top only 40% of the time. What does that tell you? It tells you you take your profit, because if you're entering at the previous top and the close is only greater than the previous top 40% out of the times, chances are if you try to take that trade and hold it, especially hold it overnight, you're going to be in the red, possibly stopped out. Now that's really important. That's important data to know. You see, almost all the other people out there, they will tell you about their trading methods, their fancy indicators, but they don't follow it up with statistics. Oh, they might use some, what do you call it? Harry hindsight back testing. But no, this is real time. So once again, close is less than the previous top 60 times. So 60 out of the last 100 days, that's what happened. So question is, what would you do? Would you try and ride it? Would you go for something that's 40%, or would you go for something that's 60%? Now, that's the top. But what about the high? It only closed greater than the previous high 25% of the time. Remember, this is the top of the candle, and this is the high. So you can see here, if you take that breakout high, it's even less likely. So once again, knowing these stats gives you the edge. It gives you an idea when to take profit and when not to. So if you think about it, what is this telling you? It's telling you the likely behavior of the trade. What's most likely to happen. Now, anything can happen. This is not a crystal ball. This is just what I call my real-time price analyzer. So when you're trading, you can look at this and you can drop it down to different time frames. I don't remember if I have that. See, on H1, you can really get in and pinpoint your trade. And if you notice, depending on where price is, it'll give you different statistics, because it's going to give you the statistics on the levels that are closest to you. So you saw it change right there. This pretty makes sense that the high is going to be greater than the previous bottom. You'd think it'd be 100%, but it looks like there was a gap and price just went and gapped down. And also you see it also tells you where the bid and ask is currently, once again, real time. So you see here, right now we are between the candle bottom and the candle low, and that's why you're getting these readings. So I hope that gives you a clue. Now, you don't have to have this indicator. You can keep the stats by hand. Some people like to do that because it really, while they're waiting, it gives them something to do. But you guys who know me know that I like to code indicators because it helps me. If I can code it, then I understand it. Because if I don't understand it, I can't code it. So I use coding in a way to learn and to understand, because if I have to ask questions, if I don't get the code right, then obviously I don't know and understand the system. So let's go back to our charts once again. Those of you tuning in late this week, all the gaps filled. Here, weekly, we see this all the time where price goes into the wick zone and it came out of the wick zone and it hit the midpoint. I don't think I told you, to look for a midpoint hit this week. Maybe it was last week. I'm not sure. One thing for those of you who like to trade the news, the pound pairs were all over the place yesterday, past couple of days, because of Brexit. So some of you shy away from those types of things. Some of you take advantage. I'll have to admit, I did try the new beast, the pound New Zealand, and I got a few pips off of that trade. But back to the euro yen, you see here, yesterday we crossed the yearly open and closed above it. We came down, tested that previous middle, and went up. Once again, the previous middle is something that I like. And for those of you who don't know what that is, if you take the previous day's high and low and you add them together and you divide it by 2, you get the previous midpoint, previous day's midpoint. And as you can see right here, using the first day of the week, first day of the month, first day of the year as areas to look for breakouts. Yesterday, we dipped back in. I think I shot the video, I told you this, but you can see here, we came back down, stayed above, and then we broke out here once, twice, possibly a third time on the first day of the year's high. And you can see here we crossed the first day of the month's open. And you know what? I forgot to change that again. I'm going to have to remember to do that because I've got 3 different profiles for shooting these videos, and I changed it on a couple of them, and I forgot to update this one. But you can see here, we're out of those ranges, which we saw in the previous chart. This is just another way of looking at it, having all of the ranges as opposed to just one. Now, we're back into that inside bar of 11 bars ago. Once again, looking to take a breakout trade. Breakout of the previous day's high. Once again, just another breakout trade, simple. And you can see the ranges here on the pound pairs. Everything else is like next to nothing. I guess all the actions on the pound pairs. And in fact, you can see on the strength meter, the pound is high. And since I mentioned that indicator, let me show you which one I'm talking about here. Indicator list. It's this one. The currency strength, Giraia, or however you pronounce that, 25 pairs that I modified. And that's, you know where I post my code, you know where to get it. And also, I send all those indicators out to when the people make a donation in the TRO Build 1000 file. So yeah, if somebody else writes the code and I modify it, I just send it out, put it out there, you know, to pay it forward to help fellow traders out. You can see here, weekly highest open, price came down through it. So a nice short opportunity. You see, we took out the pivot. We had a bias right there. You took the trade, it pulled back, should have been a scratch or profit. Possibly you hit your stop. If not, came back down, you had a second chance to take profit. Once the pivot's out, you can trade the buy zone. Here again, you either took a small profit, scratched the trade, possible stopped out, but then winner, winner, chicken dinner on the next couple of entries. I say that I've had chicken dinner a couple times this week. Okay, red rat setting up, but range is only 49, so really not much there. You can see a huge turn trade happening. So red rats, get ready. Now we took out the pivot. We saw that on the other screen. And you see we have a missed pivot from yesterday and a missed pivot, or a pivot that was missed that got taken out right there. So we've got this, we've got a couple of missed pivots this month already. And look, I guess, to see if we'll take out that pivot that was missed this month. Remember, a pivot trade is neither a reversal trade nor a breakout trade. It's a directional bias trade. That's how I define it. Okay, we know these are price action trades here. But once again, just to go back quickly, you see price entered this area and then it broke out to the downside, and it's done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. How many times does price have to tell you it doesn't want to close in here for you to believe it? So price is not closing above 125.90 so far. Anything can happen, but sometimes, you know, price leaves clues. The wick zone, we've seen that. So fellow traders, it's a breakout trade. And once again, it's not how you trade it. I'm sorry, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it.